So, what a lot of people might not know is you can ally the Ottomans pretty easily, right? If you're in this kind of vicinity of the world, right? Over like Austrian rival. He respects allies. Why? Because he can't get any allies. The Ottomans always ally people where he is the stronger power, and he respects allies that he can get. And what some of you are about to see, which might surprise you, is he's going to ally us, guys. Watch. Believe it or not, you might think, well, there's no way Hungary gets him, right? Well, he didn't rival us, and yep, we are going to get him. So we're
Zero
rivaling
four.
Austria. If we can get to, thanks for the sub, man, Bacon Sheep. Thank you so much. You guys are popping off the support, dude. I can't even think straight. Thank you so much, guys. Um, Improve relations 9. Now, enemy of enemy is worth 19 more. It goes up to 20. We're going to insult. He's going to pop above 100 relations, which is going to change his hostile attitude. And guess what's going to happen? I think you guys can see that. We've got enemy of enemy. Okay, so I'm going to give a breakdown as to how this game's going to go, and we'll see if it actually ends up going that way. Okay? Now, I'm not going to explain some of the issues that Hungary actually ordinarily struggles with. Oh no, Flurry Worry just started streaming, guys. I'm gutted, dude. I'm going to get no views. I didn't think about that. I'm streaming at the same time as him. Unfortunate. Oh well. What can you do? Still, let's have a good time. So here's the situation. Venice. I find it quite difficult to break into Venice, and you begin with the CB here. So this is going to be our first war, okay? We have the reconquest here of Croatia. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to promise the Ottomans land against Venice because he hates them, okay? So therefore, we don't need to worry about favors or anything like that because I'm actually going to give him the land. Why am I going to give him the land? We're going to set up the pseudo end node. Many of you guys are from my YouTube channel. You get the pseudo end node concept. Hungary is going to work on
Zero
Ragusa,
four.
Constantinople. Jeepo, 28 months, man. Thank you so much, Jeepo. Nice to see you. You are the best. Uh, Now,
Zero
so
four.
that therefore we can Tally Boone. Tally Boone, thank you for the Prime Gaming, dude. Thank you so much. Man, the subs are popping off right now. Thank you guys. Uh yes, so the situation, do I mind giving the land to the Ottomans? No, I don't mind. I prefer it. Why? Because we're going to have an anti-Islamic approach. So I love giving away, because we're on very hard difficulty, guys. I love giving away the Catholic land, so later we take it from the Ottomans with Deus Vult as opposed to Venice itself. Absolutely no problem. Now, here's the other thing. With the Reconquest CB, you can return cores to nations that don't belong to you for 0 aggressive expansion. So what we're going to do is actually return this to Serbia. If we look at the Hungarian mission, control Serbia, you only require 8 out of all these provinces. Easy. But to control Bosnia, you need every single one of these, including that province in Serbia. Do you guys see it? So we can, as long as we can crush Venice, which we will with the help of the Ottomans, we can freely, no cost, return that to Serbia, which we get permanent claim on, and he's Orthodox, so it's reduced aggressive expansion. You get permaclaim here, right? Control Vlahia, get permanent claim on Serbia. Okay, so going to start off really strong with Venice. Now here's another situation, guys. If you look at Croatia's missions, I've been thinking about this stuff all day, guys. So I'm trying to download dump into your guys' heads, okay, if you care, and then we're going to get into the full swing of things. If you look at the Croatian missions, Croatia, we're returning his cause. Reconquer Dalmatia. He passes his mission. Gives you permanent claim against Ragusa. Okay, so we're going to have claim on Ragusa, and what's the problem with getting into Ragusa? The Ottoman guarantee. If we ally the Ottomans and call them into wars, we're going to be able to snipe Ragusa as well. Do you guys see what I'm saying? And that's how we're going to do it here. Because keep in mind, Hungary does not have coring range now. That's the meta. So we're going to be able to get into Ragusa here as well, which is one of the other difficulties for actually passing these missions. Okay, so a little bit of aggressive expansion. This reconquest is nothing. A little bit of aggressive expansion there. Now, the Ottomans should help us against Moldavia. So we might get Moldavia for free. It would be a miracle. But if we don't, auto dead. Auto dead coming through. Okay? Whoop Poland, take Moldavia. That would be the opportunity to jack Ragusa as well. All right? Now, our A is going to be fairly high after we do this stuff. We're going to kill Vlahia, take Moldavia, reconquest, take Ragusa, kill Serbia. This stuff's orthodox, but it's going to be fairly high. Nice little tactic that I came up here with Bosnia, guys. Many of you guys have seen, like in the case of the Holy Roman Empire, where we ally the enemies and we hand off the land. We take one province, release as a vassal, and then reconquest the land. I'm going to do that exactly where we ally hers to feed him into his enemy Bosnia, take one province here, and then reconquest it against an Orthodox nation. So this is going to be like no AE at all. And guess what? Better yet, Bosnia begins with cause here. See what I'm saying? So we're going to feed hers these, take 5 dev, release as a vassal, reconquest all of that. Okay, so with that being said, all of those moves done, we should be able to race down this tree, which reaches what? Control Bosnia. Some people might not know, but when you pass this mission, which is to own all of this, and you need to own Wallachia first, this doesn't say it here because Naples is not PUable because he's under Aragon. He should become independent, and this gives you the personal union casus belli against Naples. So that's what we're going to gun for, okay? To actually complete our missions really clean. Now, with that being said, we should have no problem getting Moldavia due to the Ottomans. And if you have more development than Poland and his subjects combined, if you and your subjects have more development than him and his subjects, you get the PU against Poland. Okay? So if we're nice, fast, and efficient in all of this and PU Naples, chances are we can probably PU Poland. The PLC. Nice and early. Alright? Enough ranting. This is what I'm hoping how the game goes. Let's see if that actually comes to fruition. I have some other thoughts as well. Dude, you guys popping off with the subs. Banter King, 115. Thank you so much for the prime, dude. You're a legend. Thank you. Hey DJ Dancer. So now this person ETX01 just said in before you get PU'd by Austria. Here's the thing, guys. I'm really glad the Ottomans didn't rival us. That freaked me out, but we seem to be in the clear. Here's the thing. I don't want to debate this. I debate it every time. People are talking about like, yeah, you're wrong. No, you are wrong. Unfortunately, Hungary can be PU'd against your will. You have no choice in the matter. And the way that it occurs is if the emperor dies before Ladislaus is of age, and if Janos dies. If they both die in the first 11 years, we will be PU'd by Austria, and there's nothing we can do about it. That is how the game has been ever since the patch we're playing on, the Emperor update. Unfortunately, it sucks as a Hungarian player. However, I will say this. In the beginning of the game, it sucks to integrate subjects. When that happens, as many of you might have witnessed many times, Hungary integrates Croatia for free. That still happens as a Hungarian player. And guess what? According to what I just described, our first moves are going to be to feed Croatia here, and then Ragusa as well. So, I'm just saying, if we do get PU'd by Austria, at least that will be instantly inherited. And, I mean, we'll look at it. We'll look at the game. It's going to suck, and it's unlikely it happens, but maybe we roll good stats on a ruler if we declare independence. Maybe we can ally his enemies. We'll see, okay? But we do definitely want to dodge that.
What's up, lads? You're the Budget Monk, and this is going to be the recap portion of the video. So, after 42 years almost exactly, and after one of, unironically, the best streams of my life in terms of viewership and so on, just crazy support. I'm really stoked about this run, and evidently so are people as well. But at the end of this day, this video is here for those of you who can't get involved live and so on, and don't have the time dedicated to, go ahead and watch all that footage back. So this is the recap here, guys, and this is the current state of Hungary now. Not looking too impressive, especially when you look at our manpower being in the ditch. The reason is over a huge epic war with the Ottomans, which took a lot out of us, but I am happy and incredibly proud of how that war went. But when we go ahead and look at diplomacy here, we can see badoink. We have Moldavia, Bosnia, a third of the way integrated into the country, Styria, Byzantium as vassals, Naples as a personal union, a nice thick Milan, a Iberian power, and Muscovy as allies here. 3 allies, tons of subjects. We're 1 over our relation, soon to be under, I hope, our relation slots. And still not looking that impressive, I must admit, but all the pieces are in place here, guys. I can pass this mission, we can pass this mission, we can PU Poland. We have put all the pieces in place, so that is about to become our union. We have had quite some hindrances with the fact that Bohemia and Poland are allying each other, but we're going to be going down this mission tree and actually PUing Bohemia. We're in the process of switching to Austrian culture, which, as a sort of Hungarian patriot, so to speak, it's not ideal, but it's neither. It's just, it has to happen. We are planning to flip Austria this game, and yeah, that's how things look, guys. The economy of Hungary is very fragile in the beginning of the game, and I'm quite proud of the fact that we have 0 loans, and we're sitting on 1,000 ducats. A little bit of a deficit here of 3 ducats per month, but we have manpower's not looking so hot, but the economy is holding up really nicely. So there we go. That's pretty much the recap. You can see our nice strong border. As planned, we handed off a lot of the Catholic land to the Ottomans, so that the aggressive expansion is reduced here when taking this stuff over. We are ahead in all technologies thanks to the Emperor of Mankind, Matthias Hunyadi. We have completed religious ideas, giving us the ability to now transition into spending admin points, expanding, and working away at diplomatic ideas here with the diplomatic focus. Now, this is obviously a Catholic power. We have Reconquest here, so that's low AE. And in terms of setting up the pseudo-end node, making quite some progress, working away at it. If we took Byzantium's trade power right now, we already have quite some influence here, about 15 trade power in Constantinople. But more importantly, we dominate Ragusa. Second power in Ragusa is Venice themselves, and he literally has 1 province remaining, which is Crete, and of course that gives him a disproportionate amount of trade power. But we need to be working away at that. So one of the protocols is going to be to make manual claims and slowly incorporate this into the country. This is going to be the priority in terms of spending aggressive expansion with Catholics, which is something we've had to manage all game long. After PUing Poland, after PUing Austria, and Bohemia, and after dealing with Austria. I think we're going to PU all of them, but this part of the Hungarian mission tree is quite awkward. It's certainly not straightforward. You don't get PUs for free. You have to conquer Bohemia and then PU what remains. So just picking these guys apart here, and then we're going to work on picking Venice apart, getting Crete and this, because we do plan, of course, to form Austria, which, guess what, gives you the PU Casus Belli from missions, provided that you own this against who? Milan. That's why Milan is currently our ally. We're protecting him. So, for example, when I go in against Venice, he can help us, of course, but I can also give him this for free. It costs me absolutely nothing, with the intention to make him stronger, so that when we abandon him as an ally, he's going to he's going to survive effectively. My wars against Venice are also going to give him a truce, which means hopefully he won't take the land that we need in the future, but it's going to set up a more and more powerful little Italian. To be honest, with the way they develop and with the development here in general and the affluence, I wouldn't be surprised if Milan is actually like one of the lesser great powers by the time we PU him. He has an enemy of Genoa, and you can see it's probably just a matter of time until he snipes some of these super valuable provinces even more. So we're setting up a nice PU there. All the pieces are in place, guys. I'm pretty proud of this run, and the major thing that I'm proud of was our Ottoman war. So the Ottomans have had an incredible ruler. He's literally had a 6 in mil the entire game. 100% of the time of the game he's had a 6 in mil, and he's going quantity ideas. Absolutely disgusting. Even after taking Kosovo from him, which he nabbed early game, in these 2 provinces, if we jump over to the force limit, look at that. Disgusting. So you might say, Monk, you're low manpower. The game's not going that well. Dude, if you, for the sake of keeping this video from being, a million hours long, I'm not going to go into detail, but we bet the Ottomans, guys. We bet the Ottomans. And this dude he literally had every advantage possible. We barely even had a fleet at the time. I'm absolutely stoked. I was so nervous going in, and I am incredibly proud of the fact that we pulled it off. Just disgustingly difficult. And I'm so happy and proud that we pulled it off, because this was really going wrong, guys. He was big, he's thick, he's continuing to expand, and he's going quantity. This guy, if we didn't do that and set up future victories, he would end up having 200,000 force limit easily. On very hard difficulty, they unlock the force limit building here, regimental camp. In fact, it's right there. Tech 8. He gets 50% reduced building cost. They prioritize the building. They build it in every bloody province. And with quantity and very high difficulty, he gets 100% force limit. You can see he's already at 93. I'm not kidding when I say this. They would end up having 200,000 troops. Now, we're rising through the ranks here pretty quickly, but it would not be anything to the Ottomans. He would just get stronger and stronger and stronger, and it would not be till the late 1500s where some of his advantages, his pips, his quality advantages in the beginning of the game would start deteriorating, and we would have such a powerful economy we could start wielding kind of over our force limit and so on. But what's the difference? He still looks monka-ass, absolutely daunting, right? Well, what is the difference now? The difference is that now that we have the strait, you're going to say, oh, we just need to beat him at sea, right? No, not exactly. Beating him at sea is not exactly realistic for us, but what we can do is build what I call suicidal ships. So it doesn't feel nice, but that's how it goes. Now that we have this, we can dock a navy here of 18, or we can go over 20, 22 ships in here. And what you can do is send them out to block him from walking across the straits. So what we will do most likely is we will Deus Volt him. We will swarm this part of his country. And he's going to have to... So I'll pile in as many troops here, my entirety of my army, and just have a few little units going around sieging this stuff up. Maybe my subjects can just slowly work away at these forts, and we chill here. Now, what we'll do is, due to this fort on the hills, due to this fort here, he gets -2 and -3 penalty due to the crossing penalty, as long as we outmaneuver him. While we've got tons of mill, we've had 6 ourselves for a long time, and we spam generals here. We've got 4 maneuver, so he actually needs 5 maneuver to beat us. Look at this bad boy. Absolutely beautiful. That's what you get from spamming generals and having high army tradition. So all we need to do is defeat him in a battle, and then send out a ship suicidally as he walks across, which cuts out his retreating path, and will stack wipe him. And with Deus Volt, if we keep sending ships out to block them from sending reinforcements and stack wiping them, we're going to result in 40 war score from battles, ticking war score, as well as the war score from the side of the strait, and as well as the stack wipes. Despite him being an absolute juggernaut, we're going to work away at his forces, punish his manpower, and chunk him on the Balkan side. So now we've gone from a very heavy Diplo focus so that I could rush down religious ideas and keep ahead in technology, but we're now transitioning sort of into an admin focus. And what I mean is now we're focusing Diplo points, we're focusing Diplo points, we're rushing down diplomatic, and my admin points are going to be spent here coring everything apart from Byzantium, and even potentially going over the strait here. We already have a 20% reduced war score cost by the time we get our next Ottoman war, so the idea is to 100% him with my permaclaims, and then go over the overextension, handing off a little bit of land to Byzantium. And with the Hungarian missions, you actually get 100, 200, 300 admin simply by conquering these parts of Europe, the Balkan side. So if anything, we almost have too much admin, and we haven't been developing very much at all because we have to convert to Austrian. But finally we have some Austrian enclave here, some Austrian provinces, and this is where we can start, now that we have an excess of admin points, start building our country up tall, unlocking building slots, building some churches, investing our money, and yeah, looking good. So let's talk about going ahead into the future, guys. I did a little bit of a breakdown there. You saw the recap from my live stream as to what I expected from the first stream or so, and we'll talk about the future. I expect within my next stream to be the world's greatest power, potentially having even more development than Ming, but certainly being the number one great power due to him lacking the institutions. And the way is going to be to actually PU the entire PLC like that. Essentially, the vast majority of Eastern Europe will be under our control. We're going to PU Bohemia with our missions, and hopefully, but it's going to take time, PU Austria as well. Picking apart Ragusa, chunking this part of the world with the Deus Vult, and yeah, coming up nearer to the age of Reformation, we're going to be expanding rapidly into Asia. Now, if we go ahead and look at our government reform progress, guys, doing pretty well here, almost at tier 4, so managing that pretty nicely due to our autonomy being quite low, and we definitely need to lick our wounds a little bit in terms of manpower. But if we compare ourselves towards the Poles, I mean, you can see I'm about to be at tech 8, and he's had a 1 and now 2 all game long, so their prestige is pretty bad. If we look at our quality compared to Poland, the entire union outnumbers us dramatically, but with my amazing generals, he's looking at about 3.2 morale, guys. Look at my discipline with the, we happen to have a discipline advisor, but also the Hungarian Black Army. Look at my morale. So we should, despite them outnumbering us and these two banding together, just butcher them, to be honest. I'm not worried about that at all. We need our wars to continue to be decisive to have such a glorious game. Okay, and lastly, let's talk about my sort of apprehensions, my biggest concerns going into the future. One thing that we want to do way down the line is to PU Russia. And notice I said Russia, not Muscovy. We actually have the Russian dynasty on our heir. Look at that, guys. Very interesting. However, that was from an event. However, his stats are awful. He's 1 year younger than my ruler, and I don't want to kick my ruler because these stats are amazing and it's very valuable right now. It's been valuable for the entire game here, the early game in particular. So this is a concern. Why? Because we could end up losing him before my ruler dies due to his age. We could also end up, this could result in us having a regency, which would suck, the similarity of age, but it just increases the likelihood that we can PU Russia due to actually having him as an heir. If Matthias does die first, we get an heir, we're officially Russian dynasty. Really, really good. Looking to be potentially good. Now, with that being said, one of my biggest apprehensions, guys, is that Muscovy is literally losing to Novgorod. Novgorod is allied to Denmark. Denmark has a freaking S-tier ruler for whatever reason, I don't know. And he's literally losing. So this basically guarantees, combined with the fact that he's allied Ryazan. Ryazan is not allied to any of his enemies, which means he won't get involved in a war with Ryazan. This basically means that Russia is potentially not going to form this game unless we sort of dedicate a lot of resources and effort to make it form. And even if it does form, it's going to be a bad Russia. Now, my prediction is that we're basically going to have a weak Russia, by investing time and energy into this and trying to manipulate him to have what is specifically required to form Russia. But a small, weak Russia is better than no Russia at all, because he will Siberian frontier, which is very important to getting these colonized. And we will hopefully, due to him being Rurukovich and my heir being that dynasty, hopefully we will PU him. But that is a big concern. Other concerns I have is obviously continuing to defeat the Ottomans. I suspect, due to his quantity ideas, that even if we chunk him, he's just continuously going to remain a threat. Even if we 100% him, he will still be sort of stronger than us effectively. That is one of my concerns as well. But I also have a concern of I feel like it's getting quite late. I wanted to form Austria as quickly as possible, and if we PU diminished Austria here, guys, there's a 50-year window before you can annex them. So there's been quite some issues. It's very typical to encounter issues in the 1444 kind of RNG setup that have postponed these wars more and more. And the issue right now is that I need to own 3 more provinces from Bohemia to then PU him. And he's allied to Poland. So we're looking at multiple wars with Bohemia to PU him, which is then the requirement to PU Austria to pass this mission, and then once we PU Austria, there's a 50-year window before we can integrate him. So most likely we would be lucky to PU Austria much earlier than 1500, which means we're looking at a mid-1500 formation of Austria. And Austria, of course, gives you the annexation cost reduction, which we very much want, but also the relation slot. So you can see we're already one of our relations. While I really want to ally the Mamelukes due to having reduced aggressive expansion with them because they're my ally, because we're going to crush all of the Muslims, and he would become a huge threat to the coalition, and he would also protect us from the coalition. But also, if we PU Poland, Bohemia, and Lithuania, I mean, that's 3 relations there, guys. So do you see what I'm saying? I desperately want the relation from being Austria and having Austrian traditions, and that's going to be postponed a lot, so I can feel quite some Diplo inefficiency coming here. But we are ahead in Diplo, we're killing it. We've completed 3 ideas here, and we're not even behind in tech. So all in all, we don't look that strong, but this is the calm before the storm, right? I think we're going to become the greatest power in the world in no time at all, and continue to have the greatest game of all time. I hope that was a sufficient summary video, guys. And yeah, make sure to give me feedback if you guys are invested, if you do prefer this content, even though, you know, some people who are going to be interested in this will have already watched the streams and stuff. Is there a demand for this kind of video? And rest assured that I am working on other content as well. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you live, or I'll see you in the next video.